What's up, people? It's your boy Charlie the Box, the patriotic miscreant. And sorry I've been gone for a little bit, but like most Americans, I'm willing to bet freaking sucks here treading water. And it seems like sometimes like I'm in a big pool, and as soon as I see a ledge right there and I can catch my breath, and right before I get to it, someone grabs the bottom of my foot and just pulls me down deeper into the water. And I got enough holding me down. Uh, so it's kind of hard juggling a marriage of 20 years coming up this October, raising two kids that are still in the house, one that's left, and going to work, maintaining a household budget, and everything else that consumes our lives here in America. It's tough, man. And I know it's not just here in California that Americans are feeling like this right now. So I do my best at try to a weekly basis, put out a video. I'm gonna start doing a podcast again with Live Truth Radio and Brian Lane. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of the information and news that I see on a daily basis, and I know that most Americans don't see. So when we're not being told this or an alternative source of getting our news, we have a one-track mind. I think a lot of Americans today have a lot of bad vibes when you just bring up the name Trump, and because they've been brainwashed by the mainstream media with CNN and their fake news, being caught time after time fabricating news, and the opposing side with Fox News. I say it's the same damn puppet master, but playing both sides. And today, I think one thing that weighs on a lot of people's shoulders is the cost of living. Well, there's an article that came out on August the 30th, 2017. It says that, the Bureau of Labor Statistics came out and says Americans spend more money on taxes than food and clothing combined. In 2016, they spent more on taxes than it did on food and clothes. They said that the average household in state and federal taxes is paying $10,489 in taxes per year. Not the people that are bleeding the system dry, but the tax-paying Americans that go to work and pay their Social Security, income taxes, property taxes, sales taxes, all of it combined on an average working family is $10,000. But the average person getting back a tax return that doesn't put as much money into the system is getting an average from $5,000 to $10,000. How in the hell does that make any damn sense? But Americans are spending $10,489 in taxes. Well, their food consumption on an average year is $7,203, and their clothing expenses for a year on the average is $1,803. So combined of $9,006 for food and clothing. And that's why Americans feel that with the rising cost of living in America, with your what is it called? Your electricity's going up, your property taxes are going up, your local and state taxes keep going up, and food goes up, and your dollar's being devalued at an astronomical rate. Well, that's when they keep pulling that freaking leg down, and it's making you feel like you're sinking. And since a lot of people are barely making ends meet, they can't deal with all their emotions, so they're on some kind of psychotropic drugs or painkillers. And people can't deal with basic human emotions today. Well, with the storyline in the mainstream media today about racism in America, there's a lot of built up emotions and feelings in both sides of this race debate in America. And they mainly try to say it's white people against minorities. You got the blacks or you got Mexicans. The blacks, it's about racism. And look how racism in America. Well, one thing that I say is that it's not really racism in America. I think when it comes to the argument of the African American community, it's more of a perception problem, because the same argument that the young African American male goes through, or any African American today, I would say people that are in my predicament, as say an Asian that just got out of prison, a young Hispanic male living in the ghetto, or even a dirty white trash that just got out of prison, got tattoos on his face. People perceive us to be fuck ups, so they think of us as a fuck up. And it's not because of our race, because they automatically see us the same damn way. And that's coming from anybody that's in authority, a school teacher, a fire department, or a government official. Somebody that you go into a mall, a convenience store, or you go to a Target or a Walmart, those security guards are following all of us around because we look like thugs. We look like we're miscreants and we're up to no good. So it's not because of a race that's happening, that police brutality happens to people in low income neighborhoods. It's because you look a certain way and they perceive you to be a certain way. So when you start to act the way that they think you are, you became the person who they anticipated for you to be. I'm not that person who people think I am. Get to know me, get to judge a man by his character and how he conducts himself and how he treats other people before you make your perception of who they are. So it's not race. I don't think that it's there because they look at me the same freaking way. Everywhere that I go, and I live that every day of my life. It doesn't matter what I'm dressed in. If I have bald headed or I have a mohawk, I got a hat on, evil. Everybody perceives me to be a certain way, and I can't do nothing about that. But the only way I should change my perception, their perception of me, is when they get to know me. Well, they have the same thing that they're saying with racism is against Mexicans, and they say because Trump wants to build this wall, it's all because they hate Mexicans. If it's about Mexicans, why is it that it came out in an article just recently, says Canada is struggling with refugees from Mexico? And it's not Mexicans that they're struggling with. They said it's the increase of Haitians and Asians, people from India, all walks of life that are coming from the southern tip of our border. Not just Mexico, not just Mexicans. It's just that the United States and Mexico share a border that they could keep just saying Mexicans. Why do you think they go and say, well, Donald Trump, and they keep pumping the agenda of, what do you call that? Oh, the Dreamers. Where's that one at? I got that one right here. Right here. There's an article over the New York Times right now. It says, Trump moves to end. When I was 11. Trump moves to end DACA and calls on Congress to act. They want to stop the Dreamers, the ones that the parents brought them illegally into this country. So from when they were children, their parents committed a felony, a crime, and then got their children into the system, and they got an education. And they're saying now that they can't keep doing this. You can't keep having waves of Dreamers, and well, they've been here for 5 years, they've been here for 8 years, and as long as they could prove that in the system, well, that's okay for them to stay, which is understandable. I understand their argument that they don't want to go back to that country wherever their parents brought them from, but hey, you should be very happy that you got an education and you see how America is and how Americans live. Well, how about those Dreamers go back to the country that they came from, where they have citizenship at, and make that country a better place? Why don't you dream about that? So they keep pumping this racism thing in America, and it has nothing to do with race. It's just what this next article is talking about. It's a full-blown civil war materializing. Nobody will be able to retreat to a neutral corner. That's from Zero Hedge. It came out on August 28th of 2017. You have the neo-Nazis, then they're promoting that march in Colorado, and then they got the Antifa to go out there. Okay, Evenly across the board, the Bill of Rights protect every American from the exact same thing. That government should not infringe on these God-given liberties. So it doesn't matter what somebody's protesting against. Everybody has the right to do it. And if you don't agree with the way somebody's protesting for whatever it is, it doesn't give another right of another group of people to go out there and cause chaos, harm, and hurt other people. When they had all the Black Lives Matters marches across America, did you see groups of white, racist, neo-Nazis, Klan members going out and starting fights against the black people? No, you didn't see that. You seen violence from the African American community on white people. They kidnapped them, pulled them out of the car, and fucked people all up. Well, now that the neo-Nazis were going to have a march, well, you got the Antifa going out there and causing fights with these people in Berkeley and all these other states. And it got a reaction out of one of these stupid freaking rednecks that went and rammed perfectly good bystanders. Because those bystanders, that lady that got killed, she wasn't the one with the Antifa that was harming the Klan members or the neo-Nazis, but she was there with them. So this guy reacted because that's what they're trying to do, is build up all these rage and emotions in people to get them to go out there and cause this chaos. Because coming up, we have a very bad problem in America with economic issues in America. Today, in California, where I live at, the majority of times you go to grocery stores, especially at the beginning of the month, and I've been asking grocery stores this for the past 3 years, their cashiers, is at the beginning of the month, how many people out of 10 are on EBT? And on the average, I got anywhere from 6 to 8 people at the beginning of the month will be on EBT. And at the end of the month, it dies down. And it dies down because they spend all the money or they sold them. Because a lot of those people necessarily don't need it. They're selling it just to get over on the system. Okay, at the end of the month, it dwindles down. But when you go to the grocery store throughout this time, most of the time people have a list on paper or on their phones, and they're sticking to it because they don't got extra money. And they got their shopping carts very empty. Then you got these people over here that are on EBT, and they got 1 or 2 carts filled up. Because it doesn't matter where the money's coming from and who's going to end up paying for it. And the reason why I bring it up, because there's an article coming up, Infowars.com. It says, oh damn, that's the wrong damn footage. I'm sorry. It's out of Bloomberg. Bloomberg, August 24th, 2017. Wall Street bankers are sending warning signals to other people that the market is volatile, and they're afraid that the Fed is going to higher interest rates in America and in England. If that happens, the whole system comes falling down. And see, that's the reason why they're causing all this turmoil in all our lives and trying to get the streets on fire in America. If they could get us fighting against one another and we feel that we're by ourselves and we're alone, well, it's easier to conquer a nation if they're divided on one another. Americans came together with Hurricane Harvey over there in Texas, and it looks like we're going to have another storm hitting over there in Florida coming up. And Americans need to prepare. Americans didn't prepare for the one inside Texas, but look how they're preparing today. Well, that's what we need to do in our lives. We got to start preparing our families to sustain when the devil comes in there. 50% of the marriages in America end in divorce because the devil got in between you guys. Something broke you guys up. Well, when you break up the family, the husband and wife, now you got the problems with kids. I never wanted to do what I'm doing today. I rather be coaching soccer. But what I know today, what's happening in our country necessarily doesn't need to be happening. The economic collapse of America didn't necessarily need to happen, but it was because of the ignorance of the American people and apathy that got us to the problems that we face today. But the way that this country was founded and framed, the American people, the average person, have a chance to turn it all around and make things better. But in doing that, there's accountability. That's the way our system was framed. Well, where are you going to have accountability at? When you go to church. If you had accountability in your lives, our marriages wouldn't be breaking up. We would have passed the budget or make sure that we stay within a system of checks and balances. But we've abandoned all that. So in order to get that back, I say it's bringing God back into the picture. Because they took it out of our educational system in the 60s, and look how our society has declined in morals since then. I don't know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm going to go. I've already taken too damn long. This is already going to be 17 minutes long. But if you guys listen to my rant, you guys watch my videos, stay tuned. I got a lot more things to be talking about, and I will be getting back with you guys in just a few weeks. Hopefully. Stay tuned, man. Charlie the Box, the patriotic miscreant. If you're not going to do everything in power to restore your life, liberty, and this country, you're going to do everything in power to destroy all three. And I'm out.